Hey, welcome back. Got that new turbo installed as I teased in the last video. And in this video, we're going to tune it because that's what we do here. Be sure you watch till the end of this video to get an idea of what the next step in this process is going to be, as well as obviously the results from this Garrett G30-900 versus that Blouch. It was a 5356XT. I finally went and looked up what that old turbo was actually spec'd out as well as I'm going to give you a teaser on a new product from Extreme Turbo Systems that nobody has seen before, that Michael from ETS told me I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. So make sure you stay till the end and you can see what I've got coming for that as well. Make sure you also like and subscribe. That way you can see the next videos when they come out and keep up to date on this project. We had to do a little calibration for the wastegate because it has an electronic wastegate, and new turbo, the arm is slightly offset, like where it mounts the gate. So you have to calibrate that arm. So we got that all calibrated, which involved running the car. Now this this turbo system has a much larger intake even than the ETS, big intake. This thing's like 4 1/4 inches or something. It's pretty massive. So I wasn't even sure if it was gonna run, but we tried to fire it up without doing any calibration changes, and sure enough, listen. Oh, it runs. But, we have a check engine light. And I'm pretty sure, I haven't scanned it yet, but I'm pretty sure I know what that check engine light is for. Luckily, we have a handy dandy cob access port. On this cob access port, this is one of the reasons why I like cob access port. Now you could get a scan tool for 20-30 bucks, but this is just in your car already and you've got it. All right, so we've got air bypass control circuit, which is the blow-off valve. Well, this has the ETS Turbo Kit has an aftermarket blow-off valve on it, which is not electronically controlled. It is mechanical. So of course it's going to throw that code. So we'll have to go into the tune file and see if we can turn that off. I'm pretty sure we still can. We used to be able to on this code. And this one is, yep, system lean. Why is it a system lean? Well, because that MAF is like 4 1/4 inches, like I said. And so I'm guessing that the fuel trim on this is like 30% or more. So let's plug in. I could just look at it under the gauges, but let's plug into the laptop and let's see where we're at. View dashboard, let's see where we're at. So the first thing we're gonna have to do when we tune a car with a new turbo is make a few base changes. AF trims total 28.91%. So, I mean, the first thing that we can do is in the sensor calibrations, in the MAF calibration, we can just go in here. This was my older one, which was still larger than stock. And we can just do 28, so we do 1.289. Oh, we'll do 2.7. We've come down a little bit. We'll do 27% bigger. That goes up to 500 grams per second. That sounds about right. All right, so we'll start with that. And then, let's see. Other things we need to do, we definitely need to lower our boost target. And actually lowered it back down to 18 after I was on the dyno. See, this is what I was talking about, that ramp. I actually ramp boost in to try to control torque, but we're gonna do that thing we did the other day where we just do 10. And it's kind of fun. You can actually kind of do boost by gear in these cars. I didn't have it set up on this map, but on other maps I have. So we have requested torque, which is actually not really the torque you're requesting. It's just an arbitrary value. 350 is pretty much what it targets when everything is happy. So if you did like 18 at 350, but you wanted like fourth gear to target, if you wanted to say fourth gear to target 17.5, and oops, come on, I can't. And then you wanted like, you could do fifth gear to be, let's say we wanted sixth gear to be 16, and then fifth gear to be just kind of in between. So I have 330, 340, and 345, and then 350. Down here in the throttle tables under requested torque limits, I can set my torque limits per gear. See how we're all 350 here? Zoom in for you. So in fourth gear I could do 345, and then fifth gear I could do 340, and then sixth gear I could do 330. and I don't know what 7th gear is, but we'll just set that. It might be neutral or something else. So now when you're in 4th gear, your boost target maximum is going to be that 345 column, which would be here. So that'd be 17.5, and then 340 would be 16.75, and then 6th gear would be 16. So that would help control torque in the higher gears if you so desired. Kind of cool stuff. So let's see. Oh, we forgot to turn off that wastegate code. Yep, so we still have the wastegate code. Let's go in, not wastegate, the blow-off valve code. Let's go in here under advanced parameters. This is a list of codes that can be currently disabled. And as you can see, when people are asking, oh, can't you just turn off my this or that code? We can't. I mean, it's not in the list. The only codes that are in the list are the ones that they have determined are not emissions problematic. The very first code being this air bypass valve control circuit. So we're just going to disable that. There's also really nothing in the toggles other than use the 5th gear for 6th ignition comp. So anyway, that's that bypass valve code. We'll get rid of that. So I'm going to go ahead and flash the map again with this change, and we'll see. Well, let's see, before we flash, let's go ahead and just look at our dashboard and see how close the fuel trim is. The car is idling better now. It was idling high before because it was seeing too much airflow. So let's see where we're at. Yeah, it's a lot better. We'll clean it up later. Now, I don't know why, but the car seems quite a bit rowdier. Like, listen to this thing. Yeah, that's pretty rowdy. Revs out pretty quick too. Comes back to idle, a little bit of a fuel trim, and then it comes out to 0 or close to. So it's with the bigger MAF, you're never going to quite have the resolution, so you are going to have a slight hit to drivability, but these still drive pretty good this way. I like it. I'm excited. Got to get this thing strapped down and get tuning. Came in today to a software update on the old Access tuner. I believe this software update is for 2023 Outback Wilderness model support, which is pretty cool. It's actually a new computer platform, so I'm kind of curious to get in there and see what that's about. But it's not the same as the Ascent on the computer side of things, according to Cobb when I talked to him at SEMA. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm also hoping there's a feature that they're adding to the VB WRX. We're about to find out. Here we go. Let's fire it up and see what we can see. All right, logging in. Assuming I typed the password right. Every time you update the software, they make you log back in, and I can never remember my password. Looks like we got it. So yeah, so now we have Cobb CCF Gen 3. Let's see, we have Outback up to 25 Outback. I don't know if you can see that on my screen. It looks kind of funny. So that's pretty cool. We have Outback Wilderness up to 25. That's fun. But let's reset. Let's go to 23 WRX and see if there's a new CCF. I'm not sure if there is or not. Nope, we're still on 1. Oh, sad. I was really hoping for CCF Gen 2. Oh well. Gen 2 should have the CAN Gateway Flex Fuel and stuff in it. So it's been teased, but I don't know when we're gonna get it. Yeah, so no Flex Fuel still, which is sad. People ask me a lot why I haven't done an E20 or an E50 or whatever tune on this car. I really want to do it right, and while I can tune your car with some ethanol in it, the problem is we don't have a way to monitor unless you have a separate gauge, and the separate gauges are kind of hokey. on a car like this. Like you can put a gauge in, but like the B pillars, these have airbags in them, so you're putting a gauge on the dash, and it just doesn't look very good. So it's not really something that I've had a lot of interest in on this car specifically, until flex fuel is available. Once flex fuel is available, we're going to go all in with it. But up until that point, I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't decided. I'd rather just do race gas so I know what gas is in the tank and run it that way. Maybe methanol injection. We'll talk about that later. That might be like a stage 4 or 5 of this series. I could scumbag a methanol kit onto the car. I'm sure it would make a huge difference, especially having that additional fuel flow as well, now that we have this big old turbo on
G30-900.
So anyway, let's go ahead and pull up the dashboard and do a pull. Yeah, it already feels better. Not a lot. So that was like 5 pounds is the minimum boost it's going to do, it looks like. Which is pretty cool. Still made 230 horsepower. At 5 pounds of boost. Interesting. So I'm going to see what the log shows here, and I'm kind of wondering if the blow-off valve is open. I'm not sure how he plumbed the blow-off valve, so I may have to look at that. One of the downsides to the ETS Turbo stuff is they don't include any kind of install instructions. And so if somebody's never installed one of these kits before, there is a lot of figuring out that has to happen. Because these cars don't have, they don't have just a readily available vacuum reference to plumb a blow-off valve to, so you have to kind of hijack one from somewhere else, and it's not actually that easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this and see what it looks like, and do another pull in a minute. So our boost reference comes off of right here under the intake manifold. There's a check valve, so I had to tee in between the check valve. You can see I got myself between the check valve and that. So now I have an actual boost reference coming out. I ran it to the dyno still so that we can, actually log it on the dyno. But that goes down to the blow-off valve now, so should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and put this little alternator cover back on, and then we're going to do a pull because I'm almost out of time for the day, and I just want to see what this is going to do. Some jam now. I just did a 14-pound pull, made some wastegate adjustments. I think I'm doing another 14-pound pull, so I'm gonna get it all dialed in at 14. I need to make some variable cam changes so that it'll hopefully spool faster, so I'll show you that after this pull here. In fact, here's I'll get you in on the data logger for this pull. Camera is staying. Odds are high the camera will fall over. I called that on the camera falling over. Alright. Let's see. Oh yeah. So that's 352 horse and 360 torque. Made about 16 pounds. I must have raised the target. Did I raise the target, or did I just make too much adjustment to my wastegate? That's the question. It's looking pretty good so far though. Fueling is dialed. I think that spool's harder for sure. Yeah, it was a 16-pound target. I forgot I had changed it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let me pull up some runs here, and I'll show you what we just did. So yeah, 16 pounds, 352 horse, and I bet it'll take more time. So, all right. Oh hey, I got boost logged on the dyno now, so you can see. Made a little kiss at the top there, kicked up a little bit, but we're for the most part, actually under 16. So between the last pull and this one, you can see I did get into boost a little bit quicker, and I did that through some variable cam timing changes, and I'm going to further that. So we're going to come into here, and we need to see what our engine load was right when we're starting to spool. So 2.47, super nerd stuff, 2.47. We're at 25 degrees. What I'm going to go ahead and do is add about 5 more up to 4,000 RPMs. Don't really want to do more elsewhere. We'll see if that helps get her spool in here. I don't really want to go too much above that. In fact, I think I do. We're going to run the same boost target, and we're just going to do this AVCS change. And let's see. Since I want to try to get it into boost a little bit sooner, I might take a little timing out at 3,400 RPMs. Now remember, everybody, when you look at my timing map, this is not the final timing. But so many people like, oh, you're running all this negative timing. I mean, I do run negative timing, but there's an adder. There's actually a couple of adders to this table. So keep that in mind. Float right through here, and then we're going to see some jumps. And let's see if it'll take another half a degree past 52. Let's see if we see some gains there. Alright, we're going to save that, and we're going to do the run. Timing is really important. I had a guy comment in my last video about timing and how it's super important. I don't like to give away all the keys to the castle, and mostly I just don't like criticism from other tuners because I do something different than what they do. But keep in mind, there are adder tables. There's a dynamic advance, and we do use the dynamic advance pretty heavily on these cars. I'm not running the same dynamic advance as Cobb. It's all custom to what I've determined that I like. So yeah. Let's go ahead and flash this and do a little more. So pretty major gains. You see pretty huge spool up difference and just a lot of power under the curve from running that extra AVCS and getting the turbo to come up sooner. Yeah, looking tidy there. So I think we like that. It liked that extra half a degree of timing up top. Put a pretty significant gain up there as well. That means we're probably pretty far out on ignition timing if it made that much off of a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and actually give it a little more and see what it does. It'd be 16 pounds. So I'm actually, no, I'm just going to go up to 18 pounds. Yeah, we'll do that. 18 pounds, let's go! Dyno says 391 and 395 foot-pounds. Getting spicy. We should easily do 400 on this. I see no reason why it will. I'll probably stop at 400 on pump gas just because I'm a wuss. I don't really like breaking things, and that's a pretty decent pump gas horsepower. So. we'll call that good here. Probably just gonna clean this up and it should make the 400. Was the Blouch Turbo, very similar boost. Dyno's reading 20 on the dyno sensor. The car's map sensor is reading 19, which is what we were reading on the Blouch. Identical power here at about 4,400, but then the ETS Turbo just kind of starts to take off as we go up in RPM. Now the Blouch did definitely spool faster. It's a pretty significant power difference here in this like 2,500 to 3,800 RPM range. So, you know, it really just depends on what you're trying to do with the car. The Blouch, I will say, was probably pretty close to out of steam. We might have been able to get a couple more pounds out of it on a spicier fuel, but this ETS Turbo is just getting started. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I didn't really want to go much more than 400 horse just on pump gas, 415 horse, 402 torque. The torque's a little bit later, which is easier on the engine, so should be pretty good. The next thing that we're gonna do on this, since I like to tell you at the end of the video what the next thing we're gonna do is, we're gonna bump up the octane. We're gonna put some of that octanium 99, this stuff right here. Bam. So we're gonna put some of this in there, and hopefully, I mean, pretty much guarantee we're going to pick up a lot more power. I'm going to shoot for, well, we're going to see if we can make 500. So about another 85 horsepower with this stuff. And if we can, then we know it's good for it. One more thing I wanted to say, we work really closely with ETS. They are literally just behind that building over the river. And because we have such a good working relationship with them, we want to sell you this turbo kit, and we want you to buy it from us, obviously, because, you know, capitalism rules, whatever. But to add value to this kit, if you purchase it from PRE Racing, I'm gonna send you the base file that will get your car running with this giant MAF housing, and it'll let you go out and test the car, run it up into boost. It'll be a lower boost map. It's not gonna be a full, complete, like ready to kill tune, but it'll at least get you running, and we're just going to send that to you for free. You just tell us what year you're putting it on, and we'll get that file out with your kit. So little added value for anybody that's looking to buy this kit. You know, Uncle Sam's about to be writing paychecks for everyone here pretty soon, so get the kit, get on PRERacing.com, get that thing ordered, and we'll get you that tune file with it.